Yo guys, it's Aiden here from Yuki Aiden. Today I'm giving you an updated profile of my hero deck because when I made my deck profile for this month essentially, a week later the ban list came. I was like, okay. Now we've got a hero list of 3, which is a massively great extender and an extremely well balanced Ash bait for us. And obviously we have no Verte, so we don't have to go with if Ferris gets negated, go link into the pros go into DPE through that. But for us, DPE is like a godsend for the hero deck. What's in general, but I have heard that DPE finally belongs to us properly. Like to me, it's a yes and no. It's a no because other decks can still run Fusion Destiny, but they have to hard draw it. Some decks don't mind that, but obviously a lot of decks do, and it's kind of like, what to do, what to do. So, without further ado, let's just get on with the deck profile. As you can see there, the top guy is Stratos. I'm only running one Stratos. I know I've seen it can be debatable where people could run 2 or 3 for certain builds. Like run with however you feel like running Stratos at. But for me personally, Stratos is best at 1. That's for my build specifically. And with with this testing I've been doing for the past week as well, I feel this is the most consistent deck I've used. Like, yeah, I've lost 2 matches with it, but it came close with strikers. It came nowhere close against DDDs because DDDs just evil. But it came quite close with game 3 against my friend Connell, who was using his strikers yesterday. So but in game 3 it's just literally turned into who's gonna get the monster they need. He was needing his Ray, I was literally just needing a level 4, and Stratos wasn't there. Or anything to literally do something. So I had the Honest News, then at one point during the whole same game, for game 3, I dreamed I was like, I need a level 4 so I can get Ferris. Like, I desperately needed that Ferris more than anything else. But it is what it is. Then I'm running one liquid. Honestly, just running one liquid is completely fine. If you want to go the Omni route, you can possibly squeeze a second one in if you decided to. But everybody that I'm aware of only uses liquid for its when it's fused for a hero monster, which is the effect is good anyway, and it's a mandatory effect, just like Absolute Zero and Acid. So if you know you've got Mass in your hand, your opponent has a bit of a scary board. If they have no response on the Summon of Absolute, okay. If they have no response on the from Mass Change either, let's go into Acid. Both Acid and Absolute Zero are mandatory effects, so you can chain block it, which is great. Then I'm also running one Honest Neos. One Honest Neos is just there if you're forced to go first. And I would definitely say if you have Distress in your hand, UK, then they don't have Nib or anything. Search the Honest Neos as a protective source to keep your Dark Claw or whatever monster you need that needs protecting for the following turn or throughout the whole duel. But it's mainly to help protect Dark Claw to be a 49 beat stick if needed. Then for the rest of the Elemental Heroes, I am running 2 Shadow Mist. I mean, as I stated in my previous deck profile 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week, I did say I was going to cut down the Soul Soldier because I personally think it's not needed whatsoever. He's a good card to have in your hand, but in this build, if you draw it without a Shadow Mist or a Vion, and if you do draw and you summon it, attempt the effect and it gets impermed, it's like, you can't extend to the plays that you need to do, and it's really frustrating. So I personally took out Liquid Soldier for that reason. If you draw it without any other piece to go into a Dark Lord or anything really, it's kind of like, okay, we're stuck. So that's the Elemental Hero engine part of it. Then for the Destiny heroes, the Godly Denier, kind of too gluish. It's got a Starlight in Bode, not gonna lie. Then one Celestial, one Dasher, and obviously the two Destiny Hero Malicious. Deny is still the fourth Mally in my opinion. People's like, no, that makes it a third. It's like, technically it does make it a third, but for me, I see it being number 4 because Cross Crusader turns into a third without even sending it from the graveyard to be banished to special summon another one. Because if you just leave one in the graveyard anyway, you go and link into Cross Crusader, special list back, tribute off, search another hero, kind of whatever hero you know, if depending on the hand already, if you've already got Liquid Soldier in from either sending Shadowmist from Vion or if mainly got it from Shadowmist mainly, then you can add in the Honest Neos as the protection that you need if you go in first. If you go in second, you go straight into Liquid, because then the Sunrise just beef up anyway. Then for the Vision Hero package, but before I go into there, the Celestial and Dash is there as extra targets for Fusion Destiny. And another thing in the extra deck I actually made a change to. I made quite a big change in the extra deck, which I'll get to that point later in this video. Then for the Vision Hero package, I'm still running one increase, triple Vion, and triple Ferris. I still personally think for this build, and other builds I've seen do go 3-3-1, but some go 3-3-2, which is alright, but I'm still been debating about putting increase back to 2. I need to give it a test when Spirit Neos comes out, because I think when Spirit of Neos comes out, it's probably going to be needed. So, that's... And then, obviously with Vion, it's a soft once per turn for the banished to get a polymerization. So, if you normal summon a Vion, it's like, okay, I can just summon another one and just get another bloody Vion out and get polymerization out that way. It's fine. But then the increase, it is a brick in your hand, and the amount of times I saw it in my hand yesterday, it's kind of like, why do you hate me so much? But people are going to be like, oh, it can reoccur once it's in the grave. It's like, yes, you can. But by the time when it's in there, you're going to die anyway. So it's literally no point unless you somehow get another... If you just have another hero on board, it's like, okay, tribute off, go, boom. But it rarely occurs when that happens. So that's the hero proportion. So now we're going to go into the hand traps of the deck, which is literally the hand trap monster line is just literally 3 Ash Blossom. Literally, it's fine. Just running 3 Ash is fine. Then I could hear some of you sniggling, like, what about Nibiru if you're go in second? Like, essentially you don't need to have Nibiru for going second. Because if you have Super Poly in your hand and your hero's like, okay, depending on the attribute your opponent controls, you can go into Grand Tornado, The Shining, Absolute, Gaia, or even Nova Master if you really felt like it. But when it comes to the extra deck, I'll show you which ones I'm using. And one of them came in clutch quite a few times, and it's like, ha. And I was quite happy about it. So, when pretty much Ash is just the generic, most easiest hand trap to use, and having it at 3 is completely fine. Would I put it down to 2? If I was using Crossout, yes. If I was using it in general, I was I'll keep it at 3 anyway. So, yeah, that's that. And now for the spells, I am running 3 mass change, which is pretty much essential. But I have been thinking about putting it down to 2, but I think keeping it at 3 is pretty much a must. Through last week's change, it was like, yeah, through last week's ban list, I would definitely say 3 is definitely utmost. Then the triple a hero lives. I would definitely say run 3. No if, buts, or whatever about it. You can run it at 2, so I've seen builds with 2 and it still works fine. But I think personally, if you really want to bait that Ash, if your opponent has it, run 3. Because that Ash will either say no, depending on your hand, but if you have a decent hand to work through, it's going to be completely great Ash bait. So, yeah. Then we've got the 2 Fusion Destiny. As I stated at the start of this video, Fusion Destiny is the best card for this deck. There's no ifs, buts, whatever about it. Fusion Destiny is best in Heroes now. It was only good in other decks when 30 Anaconda was legal. Now it's not. Decks can still run it, but it's better in Heroes more than ever now. Then for another kind of searcher is the Reinforcement of the Army. Self-explanatory. If you draw it, you can add in your Stratos or Vion. But it's mainly the Vion that you mainly need to search from Rota. Stratos is like meh. But you mainly need the Vion to start off everything as the best starter to go through. Like the second starter as a normal summon is Stratos, fair enough. But most combos start with Vion now, which is completely fine. Then for the rest of the spells, we've got the 1 Poly, self-explanatory. Miracle Fusion, self-explanatory. Then triple Super Poly still. I would say self-explanatory, but some people's like, why? But a Super Poly's there for the other attributes in the extra deck, like Sunrise. Even as a light, we need 2 heroes for that. That's for a mirror matchup. You can do it on a DPE to get your own DPE out, and Muddy Mud Dragon, a Predaplant Draco's Apilia, or try the Try one. That's Predaplant, and the Light, Earth, Wind, Fire attributes for the heroes. Then the last ones of the spells is Forbidden Chalice. Some will say, oh, you should change those for Droplet. It's like, honestly, I would still say Chalice is the better way to go, because you can activate it during the damage step because of the attack modifier. So you can do it as an attack modifier, and yes, if you negate the effects of Hayate from Strikers, you will get punched for 19 to your face. People was like, oh, just negate the attacking direct. I was like, it doesn't, it will still go through because it's during the damage step. So you will take 19. And then for the last pretty much hand trap in the deck, it's the Infinite Impermanence. It's pretty much self-explanatory for Imperm. If you know, you know. If you don't, it goes no. It's pretty much a trap version of Effect Failure, but you can do it during either player's turn. So, as long as you have no monsters on the field, it's fine. But if you do, if you go forced to go second, you set it. But if you set it in the middle column, that's where I was like, oh, that's probably an Imperm. And I played around it in Perm quite a bit yesterday, thanks to my friend Connell, who just like literally set one in the middle. I was like, that's probably in Perm. And I was right by the end of one of the games. Like, yeah, I knew that was imperm, and look, I played around it, which is a great thing. So for the main deck, it is 40 cards. I would not change anything in the main deck. If I was, I'll probably take down one Shadow Mist to put in the second increase. But other than that, I would not change it whatsoever. When Power of the Elements come out, I will be doing another update profile of the deck. I'm currently testing a build with that with my friends on Dueling Book. And so far, I'm running 2, but I'm probably going to change that later down the line. So let's just get straight into the extra deck. Like the main Masked Heroes, Dark Law, Acid. I also did mention in my previous deck profile I was probably going to take out Anki and Wonder Driver. I did take out Anki and Wonder Driver. Only reasoning behind it is I was never really using them. I'll be using Dark Claw or Acid the most out of the Masked Heroes. So I was like, okay. Take Anki out. If I don't need to use it, I don't need to use it. And if I do, I can probably like, okay, put it back in and blah blah this, blah blah that. So that's the Masked Heroes. Then for the Elemental Hero side of it, we've got the Sunrise, self-explanatory, guess the Miracle Fusion, going to different ones that you need. Absolute Zero Acid combo, Exquado, when you're locked into Dark Heroes because of Fusion Destiny. Then the two I put in as pretty much as the Super Poly targets was Elemental Hero, the Grand Tornado, and the Shining. The Shining would have came up earlier if I decided to use it earlier for against Drytron, which if I activate Super Poly on when they summon Divine or whatever you fucking call it these days, and to put it into it, it would have stopped it. It's like, okay, I think that was game 1 when it happened. It's like, I should have used Super Poly at that point, but I decided not to because I wanted to see what was going to happen. It's like, okay, I felt out the opponent. He's like, okay, so at that point, I need to use Super Poly on Diviner. But, yeah. Didn't. But then again, it did come up during another game through. Oh, I can't remember which one, but I did use the Shining to bring it out. To get it out, so. Then for the other fusions, we've got DPE and Dystopia. Dystopia is quite niche, actually. Because if you have his attacks modified going less or above, he gains the quick effect to destroy one card and he goes straight back to 28. It doesn't gain extra attack points or anything, it just actually stays on 28. But when he's also summoned, you get to burn your opponent with when you target level 4 or lower Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard. And you normally go with Celestial because you burn for 60, and it can be great for time. Say if you're slightly lower than your opponent, okay, get Dystopia out ASAP and burn for 16. As soon as time's called, you win the game by time. I know that's me saying, oh, Dystopia for games. Like, no. But it's also there for the quick effect as well. But you will most likely be using it for burn for 16. Then hopefully you'll win in time. If not, it's whatever. Then for the other Super Poly targets, which was Muddy Mud Dragon, or Mud Dragon, then the Predaplan Stracopelia. I need to find my other one. That's the Trivium, I think is how you pronounce it. Because it's literally 3 dark ones, but you need 1 dark fusion and a dark for this one. It's like, okay, that's their DPE, or if you're going against DDDs, it could be a Dark Fusion, I think they have one, but I don't think my friend James runs it. So, yeah, it's pretty much a DP plus a Dark Monster on your side for that. Then that's just two different attributes with different types. So, fun times. Then for the links, I'm still running 2 Cross Crusader and now the 1 Dread Decimator. The Dread Decimator actually came in a bit because piercing damage as well as the 100 attack points boost for each hero in the graveyard. So it comes in handy. So that's the updated deck profile of my heroes. If you enjoyed this deck profile, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know what you think. And if you really want to see this combo video, I'm more than willing to do it. Just let me know down in the comments. And if you want to stay more up to date on deck profiles of my heroes, I'm going to be doing updates on my Ado decks soon. We're still working on Exo Sisters. I'm working on a lot of decks right now. So if you want to see deck profiles of those, comment, subscribe, like this video. And when you subscribe, press the notification bell to be notified when my videos go live. Peace.